And here we go. Hey guys, DB here. And today I wanted to give my personal take on the gaming landscape right now as it is. And yeah, it's not what I would expect it would be, 10 plus something years ago. I didn't expect it would turn into this. Um, it might turn a bit into a rant, but bear with me. There's some food for thought in here somewhere in this my head. My head. So here's the thing. Microsoft is going and buying a lot of these studios up and wanting to make first-party games for a lot of these studios. That's so great, fine, awesome. And like in Airhead, I didn't think about what this would entail fully and thoroughly. And what would happen if Microsoft wanted to release PC games as a first party? Where do you think they would put them? They sure as heck wouldn't put them on Steam. Epic would be interesting, but they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't put it on Origin. No. It would go to the Windows Store, the Windows 10 store. So that got me thinking, and I haven't made a video about this because I wanted to sit and get other people's opinions about it. And even the most die-hard Windows Store user has a few legitimate complaints about the Windows Store that really kind of doesn't really exist in a lot of other digital retail clients. So here's the thing, and I'm going to give my opinion about the games coming out in a second. Is the Windows Store, as I see it, is a mess. The first and foremost that I think everybody can agree on is the search mechanic they have is utter trash. It reminds me vaguely of Amazon. Now, I love Amazon. Amazon is a great place to shop. Don't get me wrong. But if you're trying to just generalize search and browse, you'll get 50,000 different copies of like the same thing. And you won't be any closer just kind of generalizing. So let's say I'm looking for, say, an RPG in the Windows Store. Pretty much everything there was remotely classified as an RPG, even if it's a racing game, is thrown in the mix. Mobile, PC, tools, I don't think tools, I think it's separated by game, but if I remember right, but you get my drift. It needs to separate out a little bit more. It needs some refinement. That makes it, so unless you know exactly what you want, that whole thing makes it extremely tedious to use and browse and buy things you normally like. Okay, I just want to buy something. What do you have? Do you like it? Do I not like it? And so it really just drives people away. At least that. Normal average users will be turned off at least that. But let's go a little deeper. Let's talk about, okay, what do you need to even log in and purchase? Well, you need a Windows or Microsoft account, and this is mostly made prevalent with Windows 10. This is one of the bigger things I don't like about Windows 10, but I digress. Windows 10 is a mixed bag I won't get into in this video. The fact that you can't just take and make an independent account with a valid email, personal information, and if you want to be a little bit more secure, have an option of adding in a phone number, more or less what Steam does, which is probably what I consider to be the best case scenario what you can do in this day and age. No, we're going to lock it down to your OS. Gee, thanks. As much as these things get hacked into and these things get broken into and everything else, I really want to put my Windows account, which puts at risk my operating system as well, at risk. Gee, thanks. And I really love the idea that for some people like me or some other people, we don't always just log in with our Windows, Microsoft account. We just don't want to deal with that hassle, so it's actually more of a burden. This is another turnoff for even just average users sometimes that just maybe don't want to log in because this might be a pain in the ass. Whoops. So here's the thing. That's the turnoff. But here's another thing. What if I told you, as a PC gamer, and one of the benefits of having a PC gamer is if a game doesn't work correctly, you can go in and fix even maybe the INI files. What if I told you that it's extremely difficult to get to the INI files? What if I even told you, because I haven't bought a game on the Windows Store, what if I told you the rumor is you can't actually get to the INI files per se because of the different format they use to protect the game? That's right. About 50% of the people I talked to said it's an entirely encrypted format. You can't get to the actual game files at all. And 50% said, no, you can. It's just finding the files is a pain. Either way, not good. Either way, terrible. So, what's the deal? Why are we doing this? It's almost like Microsoft is afraid to give you what you pay for. So I heard a lot of people say, well, the reason they do that is so they can have cross-play between the Xbox and Windows, and it's great. I'm going to burst a lot of people's bubbles, and I know a lot of bigger channels are going to be really angry at me. I don't need cross-play that bad. It's a thing. It's life. You know, if you have to sacrifice the integrity of your business model for a feature, that feature isn't that important. So the other thing, and this is the other major thing that everybody kind of agrees on, changing the directory of where you want to install the files is a nightmare. Where every other games is just like 2 clicks away, and you can very easily change it and put in a file you label, and it's nice and good and secure. Windows Store, for whatever reason, is not that simple. Which, that's the last thing. So the thing is, Windows Store, a pain in the bum to use. Really, really bothersome to use, cumbersome to use. I personally think the movie side of it is kind of nice. I personally like getting tools and apps off of it. But as far as buying video games off of it, like I feel more inclined to buy games off of Epic, and there's other issues there that make me just not want to over there. But I'm like 100 times more likely to buy a game off Epic than the Windows Store. That being said, newer games coming out. Gonna be exclusive, more likely given, that's gonna be on the Windows Store. Here's the thing. Everything I listed, is it worth dealing with all that to have a $60, or if they put it on discount, which as far as I know, Windows Store is not known to doing, is it worth putting up with all that crap to get those games? Eh, eh, it's hard to say. Now, I'm not a big racing dude, But I know a lot of people that are, and they bought Forza and they love Forza. I know a lot of people that bought Forza and they were plagued with issues and they didn't like it. So again, it's about an even split there. But I mean, here's the drama. The Windows Store could be good. It could be pretty like fine and okay and decent because it comes with the operating system, but it needs basic refinement. That's really all it needs. Until then, and I don't know about the rest of you, but until then, me personally, I have to give a hard pass to even some of the best games that may come out on the Windows Store. And for those of you that might feel bad about this, I said this about the Bethesda Store and about the Epic Game Store. Different reasons, but more or less came down to they're not there. And they're not ready for prime time yet. They could be, but they're not ready. Which brings me to the whole idea that we're getting overbloated with digital client stores, digital distribution clients. I understand 2. I may understand 3. 4, maybe if you stretch it. But when everybody is doing it, like, I don't want to get to the point where I have to have like 60 different clients of digital distribution for my PC. At that point, there are franchises and series that I just don't care about anymore than I used to care about at that point. Because what's your time worth? What's your data cap worth and your bandwidth and all the other stuff you have to deal with? And honestly, what's worth having a killer PC with all the latest and greatest on it? And for you and Susan talking to you, when like half of that is micromanaging all the clients you have, because most people, not really power users like me, but most people just have everything running in the background. That's going to hurt your performance. So, I mean, and you got to remember what games you have on all the things so you know which client to pop up to play which game. It is a nightmare. And I know some people said, well, we need to have a third-party software that unifies all these clients. That's just a band-aid for a problem. If you really want me to get down to it, some of these publishers need to bite the bullet and just go on a different client and sell over there and just pay to have their game on, say, Steam or Epic or somewhere else instead of making their own. But I digress. I'm going a little bit further than I should. New games on Windows Store made by really good third-party publishers being bought out by Microsoft. Kind of trying to fix the irrelevance from Windows Store, but it probably might fall flat still. So, yeah. So, like always, I'll see you next time. Hopefully, I bring some good information. Peace!